Consequences. We'll talk about that. 26 days away from the all-important midterm elections. A lot of eyes right now on the Senate as Republicans right now looking to regain a majority to counter the Biden agenda.
But that path to a majority is a narrow one for Republicans. It runs through states such as Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Nevada, where Republicans are facing incredibly close races with their Democratic opponents.
Ronna McDaniel is the chairwoman of the Republican National Committee. She joins us live here. Ronna, good to see you. Thank you so much for taking time. We appreciate that. I wanted to jump in if I can. Let's start with Georgia. This is a big one here. I know you've read the reports as well that Herschel Walker allegedly paid for a woman's abortion. He denies these allegations. His son Christian Walker coming out publicly against his own father on this. We know that Herschel Walker is a pro-life candidate, and you see him there. But again, if you look at the latest Trafalgar poll on that news here, Raphael Warnock, the Democratic incumbent, up by 1%, essentially neck and neck here on the heels of those allegations. My question for you is this: what do these accusations, how do they play in this hotly contested race?
You know, we're just not seeing it play that much because the voters of Georgia obviously understand they're paying more at the pump, rent is high, crime is skyrocketing, groceries are costing more. We know drugs are coming across our border. We know kids are still dealing with massive deficits coming out of the pandemic. And I think people are waking up thinking about how am I going to improve my life? How do I send somebody to Washington who's going to fight for me? Because Warnock has not been doing that. He votes with Biden close to 100% of the time, and Herschel Walker really aligns with a lot of the issues that voters in Georgia care about, and he's talking about those issues.
It is a dash to the finish line, essentially, here. And so in October, you do see a lot of articles coming out about a candidate's ability to actually win the seat. We'll take you to Pennsylvania now. The Oz-Fetterman debate, it's really heating up. We've got this headline from USA Today. It's an exclusive. Democrat Fetterman hangs on to 6-point lead over GOP's Dr. Oz in Pennsylvania Senate race. It reads, Fetterman, the state's lieutenant governor, was backed by 46% of those surveyed. Oz, a celebrity doctor endorsed by former President Donald Trump, was backed by 40%. That's closer than the 9-point lead, 46 to 37, that Fetterman held in USA Today back in June. So Oz making some ground there. Tell me about this race. What are you watching for?
Yeah, I think Oz is making up ground. You know, he couldn't be on TV during the summer because he'd spent so much money to win his competitive primary. And once he was able to get on the air and talk about Fetterman, and specifically crime, you know, Fetterman sat on the parole board in Pennsylvania and voted to release really violent criminals, people who committed murder. He has had a very pro-criminal, anti-victim philosophy throughout his career. He said, let's let go of a third of the criminals. Philadelphia is about to hit their highest murder number in history, and Fetterman is part of the defund the police movement of the Democrat progressive wing. And I think the more voters in Pennsylvania recognize how radical he is, the more he loses ground. And of course, Oz is doing a great job getting out and talking about the issues, again, that voters care about. Crime and the economy are the top two issues that we're seeing resonate.
Yeah, we had these inflation numbers come out at 8.2% year over year, still 40-year high, higher than economists expected. I point that out because this is the final time that you are going to get inflation numbers before you head to the polls. So this is it. It's still at that high. It is not cooling off. So that could play in it. It could play in Nevada as well. There's a race there between Adam Laxalt and Democrat incumbent Catherine Cortez Masto that seems to be flying under the radar when you think about Georgia and Pennsylvania. But this USA Today Suffolk poll says endangered Democrat in Nevada Senate race sees her lead shrink, reading in part Nevada Senator Catherine Cortez Masto, the most endangered Democratic senator on the ballot on November 8th, holds the smallest of leads over Republican challenger Adam Laxalt, 46% to 44%, again, according to that poll there. Does Laxalt hold on to this? Do you see his numbers climbing? And why would that happen there in Nevada?
I do think Laxalt is doing incredibly well in Nevada. He's actually led in the majority of polls all of September. By the way, I don't totally trust the polls. I think the polls are wrong. Remember in 2020 when they said we were going to lose House seats and we picked up 15? That put us in a place to pick up just 5 to retire Nancy Pelosi this year. So I think our candidates are polling better than what these national polls are saying. But Laxalt's a great candidate. He's been the attorney general. He has statewide name ID. Masto is not known across the state. She's not resonating. And I think this is absolutely a state where we can pick up a Senate seat, win a governor seat as well, and then pick up some House seats with candidates like April Becker.
We know that sometimes fundraising and the finances really do help getting messages out. Of course, we've seen campaign ads. If you're in the month of October and leading up to November, it's the only thing that's on your TV.